Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the finals here of the ESET UK Masters Qualifier number 3. I'm JonnyREcco, with me is Maddles, and game number 1 is going to be on Belshire Vestige. Spawning over here in the top left position as the red Zerg player representing FM Esports. We have none other than Ourk. And his opponent, spawning as the pink Zerg, in the bottom right-hand corner, representing O Gaming, one of the UK's strongest Zergs. Will he have met his match here? It is JonnyREcco.
Now they both 10-pulled JonnyREcco, but Rico took an early 11 drone lead over the 10, but then a double extraction trick from Ourk means he's gone up to 12. These two are both going to be going very aggressive, my goodness.
Bit of an explosive start here to game number 1, guys, so it looks like we're going to play a little game of Cheese the Cheeser, by the looks of things, as the players effectively have started with identical strategies. And in a ZVZ, guys, for those of you who may be a little bit unfamiliar with the matchup, or just joining to check out some really cool StarCraft action today for the first time, the idea is you want to be able to do exactly the same thing as your opponent, but just a little bit later. And that's because it takes time for your Zerglings and your offensive units to walk across the map. So in that time, if you've spent 1 or 2 extra larvae getting a few more workers in, and then you go ahead and do the same thing, that's fantastic for you. And if you're not able to do that, then you just slowly start getting behind on economy. So both players are sending Zerglings to each other's bases at the moment. We can see JonnyREcco, though, he's going particularly... taking a long time here, pulling those Zerglings before coming out. And Ourk has seen these Zerglings with his Overlord, and he's actually put his own Zerglings back home. So both players right now, on 11 drones, have 10 pulled, and...
Then expanded, because this is a completely normal thing to do.
Exactly. This is actually looking very even at the moment.
It is, in terms of the work, in terms of the Zergling count, it's 10 aside. Oh, but better Arc there for Ourk. That is a small little lead that is going to make a big difference in terms of any damage really Rico could do.
Yep, this is, well, this is going to be rather tense for both players, but we have got a Spinecrawler coming up now for Ourk. That's going to help him should JonnyREcco decide he wants to continue to ramp up the pressure here. So we'll be keeping a close eye on it.
Yeah, we do see that Ourk just going to sit back. He's got a Spinecrawler coming down as well. That's looking fairly good. And this means he's going to be able to defend. Rico is moving back in again, though. But he's down a Zergling. He can't win that fight, especially with the Queen there.
Yeah, this is looking rather difficult here. Let's see if he can try and pull off the Spinecrawler. Now going to be coming down to the natural expansion to continue to hold off JonnyREcco, whose natural is about to complete. Note that it is slightly later.
Fractionally later, and of course the drone counts are incredibly similar, but Rico is slightly ahead in the drone count because he got a slightly later hatchery, but that's going to all go into Ourk's favour because he's got a couple of more larvae slightly sooner. Very even game at the moment.
All right, now both players here are going to be transitioning into what seems like a fairly normal game. 20 workers to 19 at the moment in favor of Ourk. Nothing catastrophic. 10 lings versus 7. JonnyREcco does have that ling lead, but ideally at this point of the game, if you're going to be macroing up because you know that you're not really going to be able to break the front of your opponent, really you just want every larva to go into a drone so that you can try and squeeze out an economic lead.
Yeah, that's the big thing. The larvae do make the big difference, and currently, if we look at the queen count, Ourk is actually at 2 queens to just the 1 of JonnyREcco. That's an extra inject and an extra couple... Oh, no, wait, no! No, Ourk is only at the 1 queen. Sorry, I got that the wrong way around. That means he doesn't have as many larvae as Rico.
That's right. So is Rico going to be using these additional larvae to try and get a little bit more aggression down? The danger for that, of course, is that if he can't make that aggression work, well, then that extra queen's worth of larvae has really just been a money drain. So I'd like to see him try and macro up off of it. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Ourk, in the meantime, he's going to be going for his Roach Warren as well, as part of the wall-off with the Evolution Chamber. And let's see if he wants to follow this up with any sort of secondary time. Both players, Maddles, must have been expecting to be quite aggressive with the 10 pull.
Yeah.
And the fact they've got into that mindset, and they kind of had to back off a little bit because both of them were trying it, you kind of have to go through this phase of mental reset, really.
Now, I think that's a good thing to note, is that they were both hoping to be very aggressive early on, but because of the openings that occurred, they couldn't be. Rico is slowly nudging ahead, though, in terms of the drone count at 38, well, 38 apiece, but Rico now with 7 on the way out. He's going to start getting a big lead, especially when Ourk has just started up his lair.
So Ourk, He's going to be going up 2-tech significantly faster than JonnyREcco here. Now, of course, he could just be grabbing that layer, and he's going to be going for that glial reconstitution with the potential roach timing here. He has got +1 on the way as well, so we'll keep an eye on that. Work account currently 45 to 43 in favor of JonnyREcco. Now we have got the third base about to come down here as Zergling does spot it from Ourk, but he doesn't go after the drone. So he's not actually going to see the third base go down.
No, but he did not see it, so that's a bit to the dark, but he did see the drone going down. That can be a bit of a giveaway. So the drone for Ourk going to go and come and take his third. These two basically copying each other. It's pretty cute.
Well, we have got the layer finishing up considerably earlier for Ourk, and I think if he gets a really nice, sweet timing off with this +1 and possibly immediate glial reconstitution, he might be able to hit a sweet timing with speed roaches against the third base of JonnyREcco. That's what I'm going to be watching for right now.
Oh, now these roaches do have to be a little bit careful because you don't want to get surrounded by Zerglings unless you've got a good few of your own, especially until you start reaching that critical mass of roaches that you need to defend that. And it's a good thing you brought up that +1 because yes, that is coming down, but the double upgrades are here for JonnyREcco.
Oh, but glial reconstitution though is just around a minute and a half in game, and I think Ourk really is going for this timing because he's got 8 roaches at a time on the way now. He's making sure they are not within vision of any of JonnyREcco's overlords, and his +1 is going to finish so much earlier as well. I think this is around the time he's going to start thinking about pushing these roaches across the map.
Yeah, but Rico, he's already getting out more roaches of his own. He's going to be in a position to be able to defend this. He's going to have 1-1 as well, very nearly done, by the time the push actually makes its way down. So this could go either way right now.
This is it's going to be pretty tense. I mean, Ourk is now coming down. Note that the +1 missile attack and armor isn't done yet for JonnyREcco. How many seconds are left on this? Still,
50.
Ooh. So if Ourk can get this timing in very, very quickly, he's going to have a really nice advantage in this fight.
Yeah, here we go. We do see the roaches are getting forced back, though. Additional numbers there for Rico with the defender's advantage. He's also got a bit of Ling on Ling fighting down on the right-hand side of the map, which Rico is going to win.
Yep, Rico's going to be able to win there, and it looks like the sheer numbers means that he actually pushes the roaches back of Ourk as well. And this is now going to be a problem because JonnyREcco is going to be ahead in those upgrades, at least temporarily. Ourk does have +1, but JonnyREcco now finishes 1-1. And he's starting +2 as well, and he's got his own glial reconstitution complete. So that little timing that we were talking about earlier from Ourk hasn't been able to use it to the best of his ability there.
Yeah, I think the other big thing as well to point out is that it's 62 drones to 55 in favor of JonnyREcco. He's got the better economy now and can just start flooding. The big lead Rico got was when he had those 2 queens out up against 1, and that was for a sizable amount, about 2 or 3 inject cycles. That is a lot of additional lava.
It is indeed, and we're going in for round 2 here, but look at this. These roaches are completely outnumbered by JonnyREcco, and JonnyREcco started stepping forward to try and pick up as many of them as he possibly can. Ourk now having to back off. The supply is currently 135 to 133. It is pretty close, but Ourk has to run the full length of the map to get to JonnyREcco's base, and the resupply routes just means JonnyREcco's feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, the other thing as well is 1-1 was done for JonnyREcco compared to 1-0 for Ourk. But Ourk is about to have 2-0 kick in. 30 seconds away until that's completed. This is when suddenly the upgrades start looking a bit more equal. So therefore, things could get pretty tough. But the sheer roach numbers for Rico better. He's going to potentially get another couple of kills, and does anything he kills here is going to help him be more cost effective.
42 to 40 roaches, and that's in favor of Ourk, believe it or not, because on screen we can see that JonnyREcco looks like he has a superior roach count. He's just been closer to home. A couple of roaches going to try and harass here at the natural expansion. Won't get too much done there. Number of workers killed this game so far, 5-0. Decent number, but not game-changing yet.
Now we do see JonnyREcco going for the full surround, amazing attack angle here. He is just hugging up on all of this. 2-0 upgrades done for Ourk, 1-1 for JonnyREcco, but the attack positioning is going to be so superior for Rico right now.
Yeah, and Ourk is forced to pull back. He now has a supply deficit. It's 141 to 128, and he's really starting to struggle just a little bit here. He's also down on workers, it has to be said. 65 for JonnyREcco versus the 54 of Ourk, and that's really going to start telling in the next engagement, because that means JonnyREcco is going to be able to resupply so much faster.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing as well, is that not only is he going to be able to resupply faster, but he's getting the Hydra down. Add in the fact that he's been ahead in workers for quite a while and has lost less resources. Everything is going in Rico's favor, especially as those 2-2 upgrades are about to kick in.
And once they kick in, it's going to be so useful for JonnyREcco as well, because he has the 2 evolution chambers, and these hydras that he might be looking to get are just going to do that much more damage. Look at this surround on JonnyREcco and Ourk. He's saying, mate, you are not going to be able to run away here. I am going to stutter step and kill off so many of your roaches. that a follow-up engagement just won't be on the cards, and now JonnyREcco can look to go into Hydra production to really boost the DPS of this army.
He doesn't need to. He can just pump roaches and go and win now.
I think
that's
both
what he's
win.
going to do.
Yep.
So he didn't even have +2 carapace for that engagement, and there's still 30 seconds until +1 carapace is done for Ourk. That's a small little attack window, roughly about 30 seconds, where Rico is going to have a huge upgrade lead.
Oh, and he's here right now. That 30 seconds is going to be so valuable to him. He's pushing forward, and Ourk, he is struggling to find a way to deal with this. He's got a couple of roaches at the third base of JonnyREcco, but nothing major. And in the meantime, JonnyREcco is just continuing to push ahead further and further, and he might be able to pick off the third base at this rate.
Yeah, if the third goes down, or even a sizable number of drones die, that would be huge. Ourk being forced to retreat back. Rico just going to edge up into the third and may start going for a couple of drones. Could even try and snipe the hatch.
2-2 versus 2-1, so the upgrades are just looking fantastic for our Pink Zerg player as well. That's going to be enough. GG. And JonnyREcco will take game number 1 of this